What's up everybody, it's Coach Pierce here and welcome to another episode of Coach Pierce TV. So tonight we have an exciting matchup between the Eastern Conference champions, the Miami Heat, as they take on the Brooklyn Nets at the Barclays Center. Miami are entering this game off of a heavy loss to the Toronto Raptors, despite beating them in their first meeting. The game finished 101 to 81 to the Raptors as they were able to take the fourth quarter 28 to 17. The Brooklyn Nets are also entering this contest off of a loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers as the contest ended 125 to 113, despite Kyrie Irving dropping 38 points on his return to his drafted team as well as being without Kevin Durant. So both teams have a point to prove tonight. Durant made a return and led the team with 31 points, with Kyrie also adding 28 points and Joe Harris contributing 23 points in the Nets' close win as the game finished 128 to 124. However, Miami put on a great performance as they brought it down to the wire. Bam Adebayo having a monster of a game, finishing with 41 points and 9 rebounds to lead the Heat, as well as having other players bringing key contributions. Enough from me, let's get into tonight's game. The Brooklyn Nets got off to a hot start with hitting 3 consecutive threes to open up their scoring, led by sharpshooter Joe Harris and former MVP Kevin Durant.
So there's going to be areas for the Nets to take advantage.
Durant finding Harden, 5 to shoot. Durant corner 3 is good.
Then the Nets were rolling and looked real good considering they are still a relatively new team. The concern I have with the Nets is if they resort to ISO ball, as they do have 3 very ball dominant guards in Kyrie, Harden and Durant, and they all have a similar style of play.
But he can go left off the dribble, right off the dribble. His pull-up game, the quickness of his release makes him so good.
Oh, Harris, a great look from Durant.
I have no doubt in their abilities, but as we saw with Harden and the Rockets, ISO ball can only get you so far, as it's pretty easy to figure out. However, saying that, there are 3 of them, so it will be all about can they work as a team and understand where they can get their individual looks. James Harden I think can fit in nicely into this team, as he is showing he can be more of a facilitator and lead the offense rather than being the main option. You are going to see more of what I'm saying during the game, but if you took a look at Harden's stats, he only had 12 points, which is way above his average. But if you had a look at his assists, he had 11 assists and 8 rebounds, so an almost triple-double.
In the corner, Green, a 3.
Brooklyn blitzed the first quarter as they finished with 36 points and took an 11-point lead going into the second quarter. Joe Harris could be the Brooklyn Nets' saviour during the playoffs, and here's why. Let's say the Nets make a deep run into the playoffs and teams they come up against do a great job of taking away Kyrie, Durant and Harden.
Irving finds Durant galloping in. Oh!
Of course it's going to be difficult to stop all 3, but they're going to need someone to step up, as someone is going to be open, and it is most likely going to be him. Not because Joe Harris is a liability, he's not a prolific scorer like the others, but he is a shooter, so he'll be getting more open looks, which just means more threes. And since he's been at the Nets, his points average has gone up every year, and now he's playing with 3 superstars, which means more open looks for him.
Durant, good look from the wing. He got it.
He has put tireless work into perfecting that shot.
Harris gives it up. Durant puts it down.
Game here, Brooks, and the discrepancy comes from what's happening with turnovers.
Oh, another.
Players and defenders attack.
Harris forced that one, but Durant able to flag it down and connect. The ultimate.
The Nets lost the second quarter 31-30, but were able to take the third 30-26 as they put on another scoring clinic.
Turnovers in the Heat. They have just 3.
Durant through the lane, kicks it out. Brown, cut it. Team shooting it really well in this quarter. Harris gets some space. Truth on a
Leave a comment if you agree with what I'm about to say. Seeing Kevin Durant back on the floor has made me more appreciative of his game, and especially being a Warriors fan and what he did during his time there. Regardless what anybody says about him, he will go down in history as one of the best scorers in the game. And I hope he does well with the Nets until they come up against the Warriors, of course.
Harden cutting, and is that going to count? Could be a goaltend. It is.
It's just been the effort. It's been here.
Durant. Oh yeah. Irving accelerates the fake, the flip, the touch. And Adebayo just having an incredible night. 38 points. Irving with an answer.
The fourth quarter turned into the KD and Kyrie show, although they lost the fourth by 10 points, 42-32. So the Nets were able to scrape the win despite the last effort from Miami.
Shots, quality looks. Can they do it again?
Irving accelerates, fades.
The Nets won the game 128-124, led by KD's 31 points and Kyrie's 28 points.
Has been the go-to man in this fourth. Irving gives it up. Durant's pull up. He's good. He can get it done.
Let's break down one of the Nets' actions that you saw during the game for their sharpshooter, Joe Harris. As we know, most of the Brooklyn Nets offense is shaped around Durant, as they like to run a lot of pin downs for him to get open. So here you can see them set up in a double stagger with Harris and DeAndre Jordan. What you're about to see is what I like to call deception. So the action looks like it's going to be for Durant, so the defense is setting up to stop Durant from scoring. Kelly Olynyk decides to turn his head to the ball and loses sight of his man Joe Harris, which then triggers Harris to fake his screen and come off of Jordan. This is more of a read for Harris than a set action, because he's reading what his defender does. Olynyk's dropping to protect the paint from Durant curling, so he's not ready to guard Harris. So now all Jordan has to do is rearrange his screen so Joe Harris can hide behind and get an open shot. And you see Durant only had to set his man up to make the defense think he's going to receive the ball. Simple and effective, and if the Nets play most possessions like this, they'll have a very good chance of getting very far in the playoffs. What's up everybody, it's Coach Pierce here, and I just want to say a massive thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to check out the 2 videos that are down below. I'll be leaving the links in the description, so be sure to check them out. If you guys want to see more of me, go follow up my Instagram and Twitter pages, which will be up here. They'll also be linked into my YouTube banner, so just click on the icon and it should guide you to where you want to go to. And finally, before you go today, make sure you give the video a like, leave a comment, I'll do my best to respond, and make sure you all subscribe to my channel. I've been Coach Pierce, and I'll see you all next time.